Councilwoman Melissa Havrda, who is actually, her district encompasses Texas Biomed. We welcome her to the stage. I know we've all sat in awe at the steady and sure way that our city leaders look to sound policies and to science to guide decisions and these policies over the past few years. And hearing Mayor Nuremberg speak, I think you all would agree that he has a tremendous perspective and provided that, again, on a daily basis during the pandemic. He was on stage with Judge Wolf. Also, city council meetings via Zoom will forever be etched in my memory in providing public facts over fiction, which was absolutely critical, representing a model of how to move forward in collaboration despite all the uncertainties that occurred during the course of the pandemic. I've also been honored to have kept in communication throughout the pandemic with Councilwoman Havrda, whose district encompasses, as I said, Texas Biomed, and her steadfast support of our continuing efforts to raise the profile of bioscience in San Antonio so that we may achieve our mission to build healthy local and global communities that are free from the threat of infectious diseases, a focal point for Texas Biomed, for our community, and for the global community. So at this point, we've heard from the mayor, but I'd like him to say a few words about what his view is of the support that he's provided over these past couple of years regarding COVID-19 specifically, and perhaps one program that you're initiating as a result of that pandemic. And then we're going to have Councilwoman Havrda say a few words as well.
Well, thank you, Larry. And well, first of all, I think we all, during what has become the most traumatic event probably in our lifetimes, have come to appreciate public health and public health infrastructure in ways that we probably didn't understand before. And Texas Biomed being a San Antonio asset, a San Antonio organization, we take very great pride in that. And I honestly, I've had many conversations with you, Larry, during this pandemic and calling you for advice on messaging and things like that, but hearing what you had to say about the early action to fund the effort for preclinical research is something I don't think even folks in this room might have known. I did not know the extent of that. So to understand that where we are today as a community and being able to be resilient in the face of potentially more variants and other potential outbreaks, knowing that the global resilience has been built perhaps starting in a little place on the west side of San Antonio is something that I hope you all leave with. Great things are happening in San Antonio. This city government, which is represented by, I think, a quorum of my colleagues here, is being supported by a community that collaborates together, private sector, government, as well as the community at large, and couldn't be prouder of the efforts that we put together. One of the things I will say that we are leaning forward on, though, as a result, we have all experienced collective trauma. I think it's important for us as communities, as a nation, as a globe, to give ourselves some grace and some space to talk about what that trauma might be. It's not just the pandemic, but the last 2 years have been really tough for folks. We've got to understand what that is so we can all respond to it together. And that's something that we're doing together at the city with our new Metro Health strategy called SA Forward, which is centered in part on mental health. But we are working together to make sure that we are attacking trauma and building resilience from the health standpoint first.
Fantastic. Thank you. Councilwoman.
Thank you, and good afternoon, everyone. Thank you to the Texas Biomed Research Institute for organizing this symposium. Thank you to Dr. Schlesinger and all the speakers from across the globe and across many disciplines who played a role in confronting the COVID-19 pandemic. Thank you for coming to San Antonio and to share what you know and what you learned. From a leadership perspective, this year's symposium takes on a watershed role. We are in a defining moment, and the decisions we make in the wake of the pandemic will have consequences for generations to come. We are all called to crisis leadership in a sudden and decisive way, and the test changed us, hopefully for the better. The past 2 years have reinforced many of my personal leadership guideposts and shined a light on others that called for all of our attention. I believe the best measure of a community's well-being is the well-being of its most vulnerable community members, children, the elderly, those with special challenges and special needs. When those who can't care for themselves are thriving, our entire community is thriving. We saw this firsthand during the pandemic. We also understood the urgent need for clear, accurate, and timely communication. We learned that we must be prepared to deliver difficult news, to lean on data, and I can't stress this enough, to follow science. One major issue that stood out was the need for collaboration. I'm grateful to our mayor and our county judge for their leadership and for working together with all our community to get us through the pandemic. I'm also grateful to all of our public health community workers, healthcare workers, first responders, hospitals, community associations, neighborhood associations, media, and the scientific community, especially here in my beloved San Antonio, and as mentioned, in District 6, where Texas Biomed is housed. We all met the challenge without flinching. The pandemic was a test. We came together, and we can always do better. So that's the challenge before us, to be better. I'm looking forward to the remaining remarks and Sir Richard Branson's remarks. And again, thank you so much for supporting us.
I think, thank you very much, Councilwoman. I think the support from the city is going to be even more obvious to you as I welcome the leaders of our city council to the stage at this time. Please come on up with us. John Courage, Clayton Perry, Manny Pelez, Dr. Adriana Rocha Garcia, Phyllis Villagran are all here to support the initiative we've put forth as this symposium with regard to global health. Unfortunately, our current city manager, Eric Walsh, is out of town. He couldn't join us today. But I should mention, because I haven't previously, I think Cheryl Scully's name has come up at least once. She may be here. She was our former city manager, is now on the board of trustees at Texas Biomed, has also been incredibly supportive of our efforts working with the city. So now with everyone on stage, it's my honor and it's my privilege to present the mayor and the city of San Antonio with the inaugural Texas 2022 Texas Biomedical Research Institute Stand4Science Award. You'll note, and I'll show you in a moment. You can't note it yet until I give it to you. Stand, please. So you'll note that this award, this beautiful glass, symbolizes the double helix, which is actually part of the Texas Biomed logo. And this will be awarded each year. This is a very special recognition for the consistency in which you've supported science and solid public health measures, even if it wasn't popular to do so. We appreciate your commitment to research and progress, and let me personally thank you for the continued support that you've provided during the last few years in particular. Join me in an applause for this special award of the city.